A colossal shadow glides through dark water, slow and imperious. No sound, no light. Only the overwhelming presence of a creature of the ocean has erased from history. 3.5 million years ago, Megalodon reigned supreme over every ocean on the planet, reaching lengths of roughly 50 to 60 feet. With fossilized teeth up to 7 inches long, it was arguably the most formidable predator the seas have ever produced. Its bite force has been estimated between 108,000 and 182,000 newtons, several times that of today's great white. No marine creature could escape those jaws. Then it vanished. The climate shifted, prey grew scarce, and new competitors emerged. Megalodon, the ocean's undefeated sovereign, became extinct. This is the story of the predators that commanded the oceans for over 450 million years. And the question that drives it: sharks have survived 5 mass extinctions, but is there a limit that not even the most ancient predator can overcome? To understand sharks, one must first understand their home. The ocean is a vertical tower of 5 distinct floors, each with its own rules, pressures, and inhabitants. The top floor, the Epipelagic, stretches from the surface down to about 650 feet. This is a kingdom of light, where photosynthesis fuels the food chain and speed determines survival. Below lies the Mesopelagic, the twilight zone from 650 to around 3,300 feet, where light fades and creatures begin to glow just to stay alive. Deeper still, the Bathypelagic is submerged in perpetual darkness, plunging all the way to roughly 13,000 feet. Then comes the Abyssal, and finally the Hadopelagic, the Mariana Trench, where the seafloor drops nearly 36,000 feet below the waves. Sharks have conquered nearly every floor of this tower, and their journey began where the light was brightest. 450 million years ago, during the Ordovician period, when not a single vertebrate had yet walked the land, the ancestors of sharks were already gliding through primordial oceans. They predate the dinosaurs by more than 200 million years. A fossil discovery from China announced in 2022 pushed the jawed vertebrate record back to 439 million years, rewriting a small chapter of evolutionary history and confirming that sharks belong to one of the most successful lineages life has ever produced. By the Jurassic, around 195 million years ago, an order called Hexanchoforms had already appeared, the lineage that still swims today in the form of the six-gill shark. Modern science has now documented more than 500 species, with new ones still surfacing. In 2023, researchers off Western Australia described a brand new cat shark with ghostly white eyes and a corrugated egg case unlike any seen before. The same year, scientists confirmed a painted horn shark in the deep waters of northwestern Australia. And in the shallow coral reefs of Indonesia and Papua New Guinea, walking sharks of the genus Hemicillium use their pectoral and pelvic fins to stroll across the seabed, and sometimes leave the water entirely. But the real marvel isn't the number of species, it's their adaptability. Sharks have reshaped their bodies to conquer every layer of the sea, and that's a promise. How does that conquest begin, and where does it turn lethal? In the uppermost layer, where sunlight penetrates and the food chain is richest, one immutable law governs every encounter. Speed is king. The blue shark is one of the ocean's greatest travelers. Distributed across the Atlantic, Pacific, and Indian Oceans, it migrates thousands of miles each year. Following currents humankind has yet to fully map. Its body is a sleek torpedo, its skin an iridescent blue, the deepest shade of blue in the shark world. Large eyes scan the water ahead, while an olfactory system capable of detecting a single drop of blood dissolved in millions of gallons of seawater guides across entire basins. Blue sharks inhabit the shallow waters from the surface down to about 650 feet, the light-rich epipelagic zone. They follow warm currents, pursuing seasonal migrations of squid and small fish. Their hunting strategy is built on endurance. They can swim continuously for hours, snouts slightly raised to reduce drag, long pectoral fins spread like glider wings. Their cruising speed is around 22 miles per hour, not the fastest, but enough to sustain a chase across hundreds of miles without exhaustion. During migration, blue sharks can cross the entire Atlantic from the east coast of North America to Western Europe and then return, a journey of thousands of miles completed with astonishing precision year after year. But the title of the ocean's fastest predator belongs to a machine honed by millions of years of evolution for a single purpose: an explosive burst of speed at the decisive moment. The Shortfin Mako is the closest thing a fish has to a missile. A special network of blood vessels, called the rete mirabile, transfers heat from warm working muscles to the cooler blood returning from the gills, allowing the Mako's core temperature to remain several degrees above the surrounding seawater. This allows its muscles to work more efficiently and react faster, a vital advantage when hunting tuna and swordfish at breathtaking speeds. The Mako's body is perfectly sculpted: a pointed snout to slice through the water, a rounded torso to minimize drag, a crescent-shaped tail for maximum propulsion. When a Mako closes in on prey, its entire body becomes a living arrow. Not an ounce of energy is wasted. A swordfish weighing over 440 pounds can outpace almost any creature in the ocean. But when a Mako begins to accelerate, the chase lasts only seconds. The first bite is often aimed at the tail, disabling the prey's ability to swim before circling back to finish. It is ruthless efficiency, honed by natural selection over tens of millions of years. But speed, however impressive, is only one strategy. And in the epipelagic zone, there's a predator that doesn't need to be the fastest because it possesses something else entirely. The great white shark is the embodiment of absolute power. Its bite force reaches around 18,000 newtons. Its teeth are roughly 2.5 inches long and are replaced continuously throughout its life, a weapons factory that never shuts down. Over its lifetime, a single great white can produce more than 20,000 teeth. But strength is not their only weapon. The snout of a great white is covered in thousands of tiny pores, the ampullae of Lorenzini. These jelly-filled canals allow them to detect the faint electrical fields generated by the heartbeat and muscle contractions of prey, even when it lies motionless beneath the sand. This electromagnetic sensory system is so refined it can detect a signal as weak as a billionth of a volt, a technology that took human centuries to develop. Sharks have possessed for hundreds of millions of years. Data from satellite tags show great whites diving to depths near 4,000 feet, far beyond the boundary of light, into the realm of perpetual darkness. Why would a master of the surface dive so deep? That answer lies in the next layer down, and with it, an entirely different kind of war. Beneath the sunlit zone every night, the largest biomass migration on the planet quietly unfolds. It draws all predators down into the darkness. Just past 650 feet, sunlight weakens until it is barely a memory. This is the boundary where the epipelagic gives way to the mesopelagic, the eternal twilight. During the Second World War, military vessels equipped with sonar detected a strange phenomenon, a false bottom that seemed to rise and fall with the day. They called it the deep scattering layer. The truth was more wondrous than any military theory. This was a layer of billions of organisms: lanternfish, squid, krill, zooplankton, and jellyfish, undertaking the largest vertical migration on Earth. By day, they hide at depths of nearly 1,000 to 1,600 feet, avoiding light and its predators. As darkness falls, these billions of creatures rise toward the surface to feed, before descending again at dawn. The biomass involved dwarfs any on land, greater than the herds of wildebeest in the Serengeti, greater than the monarch butterflies flying to Mexico. It happens every single night, in every ocean. The deep scattering layer is a vast mobile feast, and it draws predators down from the surface into the darkness. For where there is food, there are sharks. Lanternfish make up the bulk of the deep scattering layer's biomass. Each is only the size of a finger, but their global population is estimated to exceed that of all other vertebrates combined. They are the foundation of the deep-sea food web. And the vertical migration of the deep scattering layer isn't just about feeding. It plays a crucial role in transporting carbon from the surface to the deep sea, a climate-regulating mechanism that science is only beginning to understand. The scallop hammerhead is perhaps the most persistent diver of the surface-dwelling sharks. Satellite tracking data shows them making repeated dives to depths between roughly 2,100 and 3,200 feet, almost every day. What makes the hammerhead such an effective deep diver lies in its most distinctive feature, the cephalofoil, the most unique anatomical structure in the shark world. The cephalofoil expands a shark's field of vision across a wider vertical range than any other shark, while also spreading its ampullae of Lorenzini over a far larger surface area. In total darkness, more than 1,000 meters down, the hammerhead sweeps its head back and forth like a living metal detector. Every faint electromagnetic signal from a hidden fish is instantly detected, and when diving into near-freezing water, the hammerhead employs a remarkable technique. It partially closes its gill slits, reducing the flow of cold water across its gills, like a diver tightening a wetsuit to conserve heat. This mechanism allows it to maintain a core temperature high enough for its muscles to function efficiently even when the surrounding water is a few degrees above freezing. But the hammerhead is not the deepest diver. The great white shark, the same spectacular breacher from Seal Island, has been recorded at a depth of nearly 4,000 feet. Why does a master of the light seek the darkness? Scientists propose 3 theories: navigating by the Earth's magnetic field during migration, saving energy by gliding on cold currents, and regulating body temperature after explosive hunts at the surface. Perhaps the answer is all 3. Or perhaps the ocean keeps its secrets better than any place on land. The most astonishing deep diver, however, is also the gentlest of creatures, the whale shark. Rhynchodon typus, the largest fish on the planet, can grow up to nearly 60 feet long and weigh over 20 tons. With a mouth nearly 5 feet wide, it filters thousands of gallons of water every hour to harvest plankton and small fish, a gentle giant migrating thousands of miles between Mexico, the Philippines, Ningaloo, and the Maldives. And then satellite data revealed a shocking secret. Whale sharks dive to over 6,000 feet, where light is non-existent. The pressure is nearly 200 times at the surface, and the temperature is near freezing. Why would a filter feeder dependent on surface plankton venture into the abyss? The answer may lie in a concept called gigantothermy. The whale shark's colossal size creates thermal inertia. Like a huge block of concrete, it retains heat longer than a small brick, despite being cold-blooded. Its body loses heat so slowly that it can dive deep for significant periods before needing to return to warm up. What is extraordinary is that the whale shark, with no internal heating system, dives deeper than the great white shark, a regional endotherm. And yet, there's a depth below which even these giants cannot go. That limit is where the most fearsome predator of all waits, smaller than a man's arm. In the middle waters where light is just a memory, the most dangerous hunter is not the largest. It's the one so small you would never see it coming. The cookie-cutter shark is only 16 to 22 inches long, smaller than an adult's forearm. But its list of victims includes whales, great whites, dolphins, seals, and nuclear submarines. Its secret lies in its glowing skin. Thousands of photophores on the cookie cutter's belly emit a greenish light in a behavior called counterillumination, which blends with the faint light filtering down from above, making it nearly invisible to predators looking up from below. But on its throat is a dark collar that does not glow. Viewed from below, this dark patch mimics the silhouette of a small fish. It is a perfect lure. Their circular bite marks have been found on great whites, bluefin tuna, whales, and even on the rubber sonar domes of nuclear submarines. No creature is too large to be safe from this tiny predator. And every night, the cookie-cutter shark undertakes the most extraordinary vertical migration in the shark world. From over 12,000 feet by day to near the surface at night, a journey of miles every single night for its entire life. This isn't about speed. It's about patience, waiting in the dark, luring prey with light, and striking with precision. But while sharks have been silently guarding the ocean's balance for hundreds of millions of years, humans, the newcomers, have created a threat that no mass extinction can match. Every year, roughly 60 shark attacks on humans are recorded worldwide. In 2023, the official number was 69 unprovoked attacks. Meanwhile, humans kill an estimated 100 million sharks every year. Over a third of all shark and ray species are now threatened with extinction, according to a 2021 IUCN assessment. The scallop hammerhead is critically endangered. The whale shark is endangered. The great white is vulnerable. The blue shark is near threatened. Sharks are not monsters. They are ecosystem engineers, controlling prey populations, maintaining the health of coral reefs, and keeping the oceanic food web from collapsing. When sharks disappear from an ecosystem, smaller predator populations explode. They consume the algae-eating fish. Algae grows unchecked, and the coral reef dies. A domino chain of collapse, starting with the removal of a single link. Below 650 feet, a living museum is in operation, where living fossils still hunt, still reproduce, and still exist almost unchanged for tens of millions of years. The Goblin shark belongs to a lineage dating back to the Cretaceous period, around 125 million years ago. It is the sole surviving member of the Mitsucarinidae family, an evolutionary branch that time forgot. Its skin is pinkish red, almost translucent under light, revealing the network of blood vessels beneath. Its long blade-like snout is packed with electromagnetic sensors, and its most terrifying weapon is a jaw that can launch forward like a spring. This slingshot feeding technique allows the goblin shark to propel its jaw forward at roughly 10 feet per second, so fast the prey has no time to react. Deeper still glows another creature of even more bizarre appearance. The frilled shark, a living fossil from 80 million years ago, virtually unchanged. About 6.5 feet long, with a slender eel-like body, 6 pairs of frilly gill slits, and 300 teeth arranged in 25 rows of tricuspid prongs. Its jaw sits at the end of its snout rather than underneath like most sharks, and its strike is more like a snake's. But the most extraordinary thing about the frilled shark is its gestation period. Up to 42 months, the longest of any known vertebrate. 3.5 years to produce a single litter of pups in a place where any mistake could mean extinction. That is the price of patience in the abyss. And finally, the most ancient of them all, the chimera, the ghost shark. Chimeras split from sharks some 400 million years ago, older than the dinosaurs, older than the first forests on land. They live at depths from 650 to over 8,500 feet, from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Their iridescent green eyes, thanks to a layer called the pedum lucidum, gather every rare photon in the abyssal dark. A venomous spine sits before the dorsal fin, a defensive weapon rarely seen in cartilaginous fish. From the 125-million-year-old goblin shark to the 80-million-year-old frilled shark to the 400-million-year-old chimera, the deep ocean is the greatest evolutionary museum on the planet, and its exhibits are still alive. But even this living museum has a wall. There's a depth below which even 450 million years of evolution is rendered powerless. What is that wall and what painted it? Why do sharks stop at around 13,000 feet? The answer lies in the liver, the largest organ in a shark's body, accounting for 20 to 30% of its weight. The liver is filled with squalene, an oil lighter than water, which acts as a natural buoyancy device, helping sharks maintain their position in the water column without a swim bladder. But as pressure increases with depth, squalene is compressed and its buoyant effect diminishes. At a certain point, the liver can no longer keep the shark from sinking, and the energy required to swim becomes too great. At the same time, TMAO, trimethylamine N-oxide, a chemical that neutralizes the toxicity of urea and protects proteins under immense pressure, also reaches its limit in those abysses. The phenomenon of abyssal gigantism, meanwhile, creates creatures beyond imagination. Giant isopods 20 inches long, colossal squid 43 to 46 feet in length. The leading theory says cold water slows metabolism, extending lifespan and allowing longer growth. Fewer predators means less selective pressure on size. There's no need to be small to hide, so one can become large to dominate. But there are no sharks there. Their own physiology has drawn a line that 450 million years of evolution could not cross. The squalene compresses. The TMAO loses its effectiveness. Food is scarce. And the liver, the very organ that allowed sharks to conquer every other ocean layer, becomes a burden that weighs them down. This is the answer to the question we posed at the start. Do sharks have a limit? Yes. 450 million years of evolution. 5 mass extinctions survived. But there is still a wall that time itself cannot break. Megalodon is gone. 50 to 66 feet of absolute power, a bite force several times that of a great white. And still it went extinct. Because power, no matter how great, cannot stand against change. The Greenland shark, with individuals confirmed to live over 4 centuries, is still swimming. The frilled shark, 80 million years unchanged, is still hunting. They have outlived 5 mass extinctions. The only question that remains is not for the sharks. It is for us. Because the threat facing them now is not a shifting climate or a new competitor. It is us. Over 100 million sharks are killed every year. Shark fins, cut off and dried for a bowl of soup, fuel a multi-billion-dollar industry. But in the midst of this darkness, a light is beginning to emerge. The Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework has set a target protecting 30% of the ocean by 2030. Scientists worldwide are attaching tracking devices to individual deep-sea sharks, mapping the lives of creatures we previously knew almost nothing about. Education, perhaps, is the most powerful weapon of all, changing the way humanity perceives sharks, no longer as the monsters of silver screen, but as the architect of the ocean, from a creature to be feared to a creature to be protected. 30% of the ocean protected by 2030. That is the goal. But do we have the patience to achieve it? Because if there's one thing that sharks have taught us over 450 million years, it is this: patience is not weakness. It is the most powerful survival strategy nature has ever devised. The surface story has been told. Now the journey must widen to every ocean on the planet and to the creatures that share with sharks. The Pacific is the largest and deepest of all the world's oceans, stretching for some 64 million square miles. This blue colossus covers a third of our planet's surface. Its waters touch the continents of the Ring of Fire, from the Americas to Asia, from Australia to the islands of Oceania. The Mariana Trench, the deepest point on the planet, lies at nearly 36,000 feet, a wilderness as remote as the most distant galaxies. The Ring of Fire, a belt of volcanoes and subduction zones, encircles these waters, unleashing earthquakes and tsunamis that ceaselessly reshape the geography. But these destructive forces are also the architects of life. New islands are born from magma rising from the seabed. Scattered across this blue expanse are more than 25,000 islands. And the Pacific is home to the truly immense, the blue whale, the largest animal that has ever lived, dwarfing any known dinosaur. A mature blue whale can reach nearly 100 feet. Its heart, the size of a small car, pumps blood through arteries so wide a child could crawl through them. With a single breath, it exchanges up to 90% of the oxygen in its lungs. Despite its colossal size, its diet consists almost exclusively of krill, tiny crustaceans that form immense, dense swarms. The dolphin is a dance of intelligence. Its body, engineered for speed and agility, can reach 30 miles per hour. Dolphins are born explorers, traveling between warm and temperate waters and using echolocation to navigate murky depths. They are strategists, hunting in groups, encircling schools of fish with walls of bubbles. Among the coral reefs of the Pacific, a tiny resident defies the rules of survival: the clownfish. At 4 to 7 inches in length, it is small in stature but vast in character. Its vibrant orange with white stripes is a warning signal. The clownfish inhabits the tropical reefs, its existence dependent on the sea anemone. The anemone's toxic tentacles repel predators, while the clownfish, protected by a special mucus layer, is immune. A clownfish group is a matriarchy, each anemone home to a small group dominated by a single large female. When she dies, the largest male takes her place, undergoing a unique biological transformation. He becomes female. This flexibility is a key to survival. The Atlantic is a vital bridge, a force connecting continents, cultures, and climates. At 41 million square miles, it is the second largest ocean on the planet. Powerful currents like the Gulf Stream transport heat from the tropics northward, while cold water returns south. The surface of the Atlantic may be familiar, but its depths still hold many mysteries. And here, a creature quietly holds sway over tropical reefs: the hawksbill sea turtle, averaging 2 to 3 feet in length. Its flattened shell and sharp curved beak allow it to access the narrowest crevices. It feeds on sponges and small invertebrates, which, if left unchecked, could suffocate the coral. Every meal the hawksbill takes is an inadvertent act of conservation, keeping its own habitat in balance. In the Arctic, surrounded by continents and 8 nations, the polar bear is a silent giant in constant adaptation. A male could be over 8 feet long and weigh more than 1,500 pounds. Its white coat is actually translucent, reflecting surrounding light. Beneath it, black skin absorbs the sun's heat. Its sense of smell is so acute it can detect a seal from over a mile away, even when the prey is beneath the ice. The walrus emerges like a living monument. With a massive body up to 11 feet long and weighing over a ton, its long tusks serve not just as weapons, but as tools for hauling its heavy body onto slippery ice floes. The Indian Ocean, by contrast, is a realm of tropical warmth, calm seas, and century-spanning stories. Here the whale shark, the largest fish in the world, glides with its mouth open, filtering thousands of gallons of water every hour. Adults often reach about 40 feet, but giants of over 50 feet have been recorded. And in southern Nepal, the Terai region extends like a green sash at the base of the Himalayas. The Bengal tiger moves through this humid forest with lethal grace. Reaching lengths of nearly 10 feet and weighing up to 550 pounds, it is one of the world's largest cats. Its mighty legs can propel it to nearly 40 miles per hour in short bursts. Each tiger reigns over a territory spanning up to 77 square miles. Yet despite the fearsome image, only about 1 in 10 of its hunting attempts succeeds. Higher in the Himalayas, above 13,000 feet, lives a snow leopard, the enigmatic spirit of the mountains. Moving in deliberate silence across snow-covered cliffs, it is perfectly camouflaged against the snow and rock. Capable of taking down animals 2 to 4 times its own size, it can clear nearly 50 feet in a single bound. The snow leopard is losing its habitat as glaciers recede. Its population has declined by over 20% in the last 2 decades, with only about 300 individuals remaining in Nepal. The red panda, dependent on bamboo forests that are shrinking under a warming climate, has only around 500 individuals surviving in Nepal today. Yet amid the loss, there is hope. Through extraordinary efforts, Nepal has more than doubled its wild tiger numbers in just 1 decade, when humanity works in partnership with the natural world. Even species on the verge of extinction can be brought back. Conservation is not merely about saving nature. It is an act of reverence for the beauty and balance of creation.